what's good, what's poppin', what's crackin', what's percolating, what's really good in the hood? It is your man, Theo Butler, and welcome to I'm going to go ahead and break this down episode. If I ain't saying, I'm just saying what the wrong with me nation. Y'all go ahead and clap it. Before we begin, like, share, subscribe. If you like, leave a comment. If you don't like, leave a constructive comment. Why? Because if you know me, grow me, and constructive comments help. They do help grow a channel. So, I'm doing this video today because I think there's been a huge misunderstanding. I guess I should preface this first. This is in response to the video that I did a couple of days ago where Mr. Mike Deodato called out Tanaka Huerta for not being in shape. I made a video. I know somebody said, Mr. Theo, I agree with some of the things you said, but not all of them. And I know over there on Twitter, there's been some things that have been shared. I think we thou protest too much. I really do. I think we put just a little too much stank on it. And I'm going to tell y'all where I'm going with this one. So, Lizzo. Lizzo is an attractive woman. She's not the woman that I would date, but Lizzo is an attractive woman. Lizzo is under the perception. See, there's a difference between reality and perception. She's under the perception that most men don't like a woman that looks like her. First of all, Lizzo hasn't met most men. She hasn't. And social media is not a representation of most men. It's not. There are men that consider Lizzo not only attractive, but one of the most attractive women on the face of the earth. There are men that don't like thin women. There are men that don't like women that are shaped like IG models. And I don't even know what an IG model is today because IG models come in all shapes, sizes, and everything. So in essence, the perception is that men don't find Lizzo attractive. That's perception. The reality is quite a few men find Lizzo attractive. Theo, where you going with this one? So when we talk about comic book accuracy, quite a few people thought that, I'm going to speak for myself, that maybe I was body shaming Tanaka Huerta or that I was making, no. Namor is supposed to be physically intimidating. I do not want to see, and I'm going to stand tall, line drawn in the sand, and it's going to make sense when I wrap this up in a nice little bow. I don't want to see anybody 5 foot anything playing Namor. I want to see somebody that looks like Jason Momoa. And when we on social media, let's stop talking. Let's stop pointing out the actors that are like bodybuilders that can't act. Let's start talking about the actors that are shaped like bodybuilders that can't act. And God knows I would hate to damn Google actors that are 6 feet taller, if not, that can act and are physically imposing. I don't want to do that because that means I'm insulting your intelligence. We both got smart devices. Let's stop doing that. Let's stop doing that. So let me say it again. I don't want to see a 5 foot anybody play Namor. But watch this one. Y'all ever heard of Chuck? I can't remember Chuck's first name, Chuck's last name. Oh, it's Tane. Y'all ever heard of Chuck Tane? Y'all see this picture right here? This is Chuck Tane. This is Bouncing Boy from the Legion of Superheroes. They're supposed to be doing a live version of this. You know who I don't want to see play Chuck Tane? Anybody that look like they've been in the damn gym working out all damn day long. I don't want to see that. I want to see comic book accuracy. Thus, now if they race bend him, I don't want that. But the person that play him need to be kind of chubby, need to be kind of heavy set, need to be rotund, if you understand what I'm saying. Be perfectly honest with you, I don't need to see too much muscle definition on the person that plays Chuck Tane. You know why? Because that ain't how Chuck Tane's shaped. Watch this one. Aurora Monroe. Ooh, y'all need me sit. I'm gonna sit back on this one. Cause how much How much criticism has Marvel gotten since the first time they casted Aurora Monroe? Ironically enough, you know who people said they should have cast as Aurora Monroe back in the day when they chose to cast Halle Berry? It was Angela Bassett. Why do you think people were upset that Halle Berry, who's a good actress, why do you think people were upset that they cast Halle Berry as Aurora Monroe? Because of her light skin complexion. Why do you think people were upset? Because they were. Why do you think people were upset that they cast the young lady as Aurora Monroe in that other X-Men movie? Because of her skin complexion. Comic book accuracy. That's what people want. Let me see this, because I got another one here. Oh, here we go. Comic book accuracy. You know who else I don't want to see be geeked up, swollen, everything like that? Anybody that plays Professor Charles Xavier. I don't want to see him geeked up. I don't want to see him looking like they've been in the gym. I don't want to see him looking like none of that. They need to be a slender person, preferably bald-headed. But we're not going to have a problem with those portrayals, are we? No. Honestly, we're going to be kind of hypocritical with those portrayals. We're going to do our damnedest to get them right, as we should. Nobody's going to be upset. Nobody's going to say they should have got a different actor. You'd be just fine with the casting. They cast a heavy-set person as Bouncing Boy. They cast a slender, bald-headed person, Professor Charles Xavier. They cast a dark-skinned sister as Aurora Monroe. Those are all accurate portrayals. They are. You'd applaud them, though. But in this particular instance, when people point out the inaccuracy of the portrayal, you act like we wouldn't be consistent all the way across the board, and nothing could be farther from the truth. What's up, Beach Diesel? We go so hard sometimes to prove ourselves right that we wind up exposing ourselves. You know, when I talked in the video about Tanaka Huerta's physique, you know what no one touched on? The fact that I put a picture of Tom Holland in that same video. Tom Holland, who's younger than Tanaka Huerta. Tom Holland, who's the same height as Tanaka Huerta. Tom Holland, whose character in the MCU is fully clothed. Tom Holland didn't have to look like that. He didn't have to get in that type of shape because we don't see his body when he's got his Spider-Man costume on, but he did. Tanaka Huerta plays a character who is shirtless throughout the entire film. And while we can't do anything about our height, as I said, I'm 5'9". What I can do is, if being presented with the role of a superhero, and I take it, watch this. You see the hair? Right. If Marvel was to cast me as an older version of Eric Killmonger, they're going to have to use some camera angles because there's a 3-inch height difference between me and Michael B. Jordan. But if they were to cast me as the older version of Eric Killmonger, I can tell you I'm in pretty decent shape. I am. I wouldn't get in front of the camera like that. Michael B. Jordan set the mark when he took his shirt off. I got to go do that. I would do it with pride because I'm representing the community and I'm representing the character. And if I'm going to represent that character, comic book character, I'm going to do my damnedest to get my body in comic book accurate form. Sad part about it is, I've done that before just to play football. So if I can do it to play the game that I love, I can definitely do it for one of the characters that I love. I ain't saying, I'm just saying. Listen, I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. I ain't even want to take too much time in this video and everything like that. It's perception versus reality. We're not saying every superhero got to be geeked up. No comic book fan would ever insinuate something like that. We want our superheroes to be comic book accurate when they're on film. And we're not wrong for expecting that. Regardless of how they look on the comic book, that's how we want them to come across on film. If they got red hair in the comic book, we want them to have red hair on the film. If they got freckles in the comic book, we want them to have freckles on the film. We're going to the movies to watch a live action version of the characters we read about in the comic books. It's something else y'all not thinking about. Why they doing all this over there in the comics, all this over there in the MCU and everything like that, talking about appealing to people, pandering to certain demographics? That's what she said, right? They're not doing this in the comics. Namor McKenzie is still Namor McKenzie in the comics. To all my brown brothers and sisters and everything like that, they getting y'all hyped up to go see this movie. It's empty representation if it's not going to transfer over to the comic books. And we all know it. And they're not going to do it because the comic book fans would turn on them in a heartbeat if they changed Namor's ethnicity from Irish, Atlantean, last name McKenzie, to Aztecan. In the comics, it still says he's Namor from Atlantis, not Namor from Taloka. I ain't saying, I'm just saying. Peace.